What is the Schumann resonance, and why do you think it has become such a hot topic in the spiritual and wellness circles today?
Okay. So the Schumann's resonance is basically the heartbeat or the pulse of Mother Earth. And so it's an indicator of how strongly her heart is beating. If someone is in distress, their heartbeat speeds up or it intensifies. And when they're at peace, then there's like a resting heart rate. Yeah. So they now have a mechanism for measuring the Schumann's resonance, which is the Earth's heartbeat, the Earth's electromagnetic frequency, essentially. And so as a result, people are able to track the Earth's electromagnetism all the time. Now, how is it generated? Basically, there's a relationship between Mother Earth and the sun. And so the amount of stellar radiation or solar radiation hitting the planet is encapsulated in the space between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. The ionosphere is about 60 to 100 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. So it's that area around the Earth that gets activated by the solar radiation. And then it interacts with the Earth and the space and gets a vibration. Almost like if you had a drum and you spoke into it and there was like an echo between the walls of the drum and the empty space. So that's what the Schumann's resonance is. No, I think the reason why there's a bit of a buzz around it is because the natural resting pulse or resonance of the earth is about 7.83 hertz. Yeah? But guess what? The waves generated by the brain is about 7.83 hertz. And so is the heart. So what is very clear is that there is a correlation between the earth's heartbeat and our brain waves and our heartbeat. So if you should look at the humans being connected to Mother Earth, then you would understand why people are now beginning to track the correlation between the Schumann's resonance and the humans. So we are in a period they call the awakening period, and it is said that during awakening, our vibration is raising, our frequency is getting higher. Likewise, what we're realizing is that more often than not, the Schumann's resonance is going above the 7.8 hertz. It's going up to as much as 32, 54 hertz, which is unheard of. In fact, recently, it has been going off the charts. In other words, the frequency is so high that the devices that usually read the Schumann's resonance are no longer able to collect data. So what it really is showing is that we are going through something. Earth is actually going through an ascension process because its frequency is increasing. Yeah? Likewise, all of us that are on the earth are going through the same process, and our frequency is also increasing. So it's a very interesting study. I think there is a station in Tomsk, Russia, and so a lot of apps are carrying the data from the station in Russia. And so people are able to see when there is a Schumann's resonance spike above the normal 7.8 hertz. And they're beginning to realize that there are some very sensitive people with spiritual gifts that are actually able to feel when the Schumann's resonance spikes. So some people describe feeling nausea. Some people describe not being able to sleep. Some people have a low pressure headache. Some people feel dizzy. And so when they check the Schumann's resonance, it's off the chart, and they're like, oh, so now a lot of people are beginning to correlate the sensations that they're able to pick up with spikes in the Schumann's resonance. And of course, usually these spikes are associated with solar flares. The solar flares, of course, excite the space between the Earth and the ionosphere, charge, extra charges. And so you have lots of lightning storms. And so people anticipate it, as well as sometimes they have what we call space weather, which is again when you have a lot of photonic charge in the atmosphere. Sometimes it's not associated with the solar flares. And that's when people are puzzled. They're like, why is the Schumann's resonance spiking? No, here's where it gets to pseudoscience and some people don't believe. It is believed that there is a correlation between the Earth's pulse and the population. And if there's something dreadful happening, for example, a global catastrophe, and everybody's feeling really sad, their hearts are open, then they'll see a surge or a spike in the Schumann's resonance. Or if there's a great joy on the planet, then there's also some spikes in the Schumann's resonance, and vice versa. So what they're saying is that humanity as a collective can influence the Schumann's resonance, and the Schumann's resonance can influence the human collective. So it's a very interesting space. We're still learning a lot about it. But for the time being, for those persons who just want to know what the basics is, it's basically the pulse of Mother Earth and how she is feeling at this time. And it's influenced by solar weather, space weather, the weather outside of the planet.